Hey guys, welcome to IG Live. On my Insta, I said this is season 3. I was obviously getting ahead of myself. Season 2, episode 4. And this is the episode where we are going to talk about color. And color turns out to be a very controversial subject. Not as controversial as best, which whatever, but that's a whole other thing. But anyways, today we're going to talk about color. And I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about what it means to be a creative pragmatist, right? And the cornerstone of being a creative pragmatist is that love and that need for modernity. We are really curious individuals, and we get bored really, really quickly. And so we find ourselves wanting to change and wanting to shake things up, but you still very much want to look like yourself. And having that ability to change things up and still look like yourself means that you also have to have a lot of confidence. And I don't mean confidence like we've talked about, where it's confidence where you walk into a room and you're like, they will love me, they will love me. It's confidence like you walk into a room and you're thinking, it's okay if they don't love me because I'm really happy with the way that I am dressed. And when I say that it's not about seeking approval from others, I don't mean that in a blanket way. Like I very much have people, I seek approval from Dione and from Tracy, but it's not actually approval as much as it is conversation, and I want to hear their points of view. And that's very different than walking into a room and wanting people to approve of you. And so the reason why I'm talking about that is confidence is very intertwined with color, wearing color, and kind of breaking free from the neutrals. For some of you, or for a lot of you too, it's calming that shit down that has just, looks like Rainbow Bright exploded in your closet. So we want to help you find that balance. And we know that we've come up with something new that will help you, a new acronym. Everyone loves their acronyms, right? So when we talk about the clothing today, we are going to talk about it in terms of the new color acronym, which is BIGS and PIGS. BIG standing for Brights, and PIG, the P, standing for Pastels, and then the IGS. And the IGS is the color, the fabrication, or the style that really needs to be included when you wear a bright or a color. So I think I screwed up half on how I just said that, but the I. Okay, I stands for icky, and we're going to show you what that means. But icky is about the tactileness of a fabrication. G stands for gloss, something with shine, and S stands for something with shape and sculpture, something that you know that your outfit or your style or your piece has shape or sculpture when you describe it and you find yourself using your hands, right? Like if you're like this jacket, this skirt, like. If I was describing like a regular like skirt, I'd be like, yeah, that skirt. But if it's like skirt, then that kind of skirt can come in a bold color and it's going to feel really, really right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take you through a lot of the great items that we have, past and present. We are going to show you how it falls within those color rules. And then in and out, I'm going to show you pictures of one of my favorite people in the world is Tamu McPherson. And Tamu is an absolute, she is like the dream. She's not a colorist, but she wears color when she wants to, and every time she wears it right. So we have a lot of good examples from Tamu to show you guys today. So I'm going to let you start first, and then you can change.
Yeah, the funny thing about Tamu is that she always does apply the one ton of none, even if she's not even aware of it. It's always so well balanced. So I'm going to be talking about pigs because I'm wearing a pastel. This is actually the Giselle Stretch curved neck sweater. This is the one I showed last week. I believe Amy was wearing it with a leather skirt and it looked so beautiful. I'm wearing it here, just a little detail here. It's that same Giselle that you guys knew and loved from spring last year when we had the one shoulder top. It's just that really nice, beautiful pastel colorway with the open back detail. And then I'm wearing my Eco Silk Balloon pants and the recut of the Lars boot. Yes, that's right. For those of you who don't know and aren't signed up to our newsletter, we did recut the Lars boot in red, black is a new shade, and then we still have our tan colorway. So these are back in stock, so act fast because most of you I know for a fact that have DM'd me have like you missed out on the first wave. So the second wave of the Lars boot is here. And I'm going to throw on this Nova Plaid Liam blazer. So this is one of the newest iterations of the Liam, which will be on the site in the next 2 to 3 weeks, if not sooner. If you sign up for the newsletter, you will get an alert as soon as it's available, but it is on coming soon on the website. So this is your Liam blazer. It's a virgin wool blend. It's got nice tones in the check. It's got that nice kind of tan ochre color, a little bit of darker orange and a little bit of red and black. So it really does work with making colors pop, but then works really nicely with neutrals as well. So you have your classic menswear style button over, and then you have your cinch. And these are actually custom faux horn buttons that are signature to Tibi. So pairing all of these pastels together, this is definitely something that is in a weird shape because you've got that curved neck, you've got the open back. That's why the pastel works here. And then also there's a little bit of interest in the way that I've paired these colors as well, because I'm pairing this past season Loden green back to this blue, which is a really nice transitional pairing.
Also, when you're wearing this much like muted, having that strong white off like in a bag or something is good.
We're always talking about the concept of fresh white and white adding like just that nice dose of brightness here, because if I did a black bag, I felt like it would kind of be a little bit sad.
No,
it'd be sad. So
and I wouldn't do a brown bag either. Sad.
Brown bag is also sad. So this
bright
is
yellow, bright blue, bright white, like that's your brights.
Yes.
You're bright.
That's where you want to do a bright handbag. We don't talk enough about handbags, but that's something you're going to see more of in the future. But having that pop of white really rounds out the outfit, because the rest I consider Loden a neutral, because we're going to talk about that in more detail a little bit, how we have seasonal neutrals. Loden is technically a shade of green with a little bit of brown in it, but for fall 20, it was a neutral for us because Loden was one of those base colors that worked against all of the other neutrals, but also calmed down some of the brighter hues we had in the collection. More on that in a second. I'm going to change it to my next look.
Okay. So in the vein of one ton or none, right? A lot of you guys asked me that do the pigs and bigs work with prints as well, and they do. And you know what sucks is P for print, it's the same as pig, so like the pastel. But anyways, it works for prints too. So I'm wearing a printed dress, right? This is a very go big or go home statement. Now, we always love something a little ironic in our prints. So here you actually have little hidden garden gnomes throughout the print. I'll let you find them when you get it home. It's like fun to find them when you're sitting at the table. So I'm wearing a print, and if it fell into the pigs thing, right, there needs to be either some ick, some gloss, or extreme shade. So in this fabrication, you got the ick and you got the shade. I'll show you. So I'm wearing a size 4 in this, and what you'll see is, first of all, the back is cut out, and it creates this sculptural shape. What is really easy on this is if you were wearing this to the office, you guys just put a black tank underneath it. Remember, like as a creative pragmatist, pragmatic is really leading the way. So you put a black tank on and you're good to go, or not, and you do the bra strap thing, or you do those little stickies, whatever. So the other thing, the sculpture, this has this really nice shoulder here, and it's that custom shoulder pad that we developed last spring that we really love, because it's not like hardcore working girl 80s. It's got a little bit of softness to it, but it's definitely got strength. And then the fabric here, it's got a little bit of ick, okay? It's a little nasty, but in a really good way. I know that sounds weird. So what's great too is with a fabric like this in a darker grounded print is you can really wear it now with the stretch boots. So I'm wearing the Lars boots that have just been shipped, and we never did the black. When COVID came, I was like, shut down the black, but we wore it so much on IG Lives, you guys kept DMing us about it, and we brought it back, and you know, it's so freaking functional, right? So you can wear it like this, but I also want to show you that another way, because we are endorsing leggings, right? And a lot of you guys are really excited about that, and I am, because it means when you have leggings starting to be a thing, it means you're going to see a lot more dresses and skirts out there, because they make everything functional. So what I'm showing you here is I've got the leggings on, and if I'm wearing the leggings and if I'm wearing the slide, which by the way, we are going to put into production early. This was from fall, and you guys definitely like lost your mind over it, so we're gonna go ahead and produce it early. You can tell you're gonna wear it a lot. So if I were wearing this with the legging and the slide, it's got a more chill moment. So I'm wearing the Completed Works earring when I was all like headed to the art gallery or Rue Saint Honoré during Fashion Week. But now that I've got the legging and the slide on, I'm probably just gonna take my hair back into a ponytail, and I'm gonna just put on like maybe another earring from, I've got pockets full of earrings. So I'll put on another earring, and now I've got this little bit of a classic 90s, you know, we're loving Cameron Diaz, right? Always from the 90s. So that's the way to do it, okay?
Just to show you another option from one of our previous seasons. This is also on sale. I think we have 2 left on the website right now. This is your sculpted melange sweatshirt that has a nice high collar detail that you can zip all the way up. And it has that sculpted sleeve, which is so important to show because, again, if you are going to do a bright, bigs and pigs. So you've got your sculpted, you've got a little bit of shine here with the zipper, and it's kind of got a really interesting tactile feel as well. It's very spongy, but it's also just really comfortable as well. And then I have it really dorkily tucked into my Eco Silk balloon pants because I really like to tuck in my sweaters. So this color combination also works if you want to do a brighter color rather than a pastel. So that way I can show you a little bit of both paired back to my Lars, etc. So a couple of things about this color, again, the Loden Green. If you did buy the Loden Green or even the dark stone or navy in this Eco Silk balloon pant that I've been showing you this entire time on live, these really transition well from winter to spring because I actually wore these today back to a cropped sweatshirt that's also on sale right now. It's that beautiful navy blue turtleneck that's cropped that you guys have seen many times, and then these boots. And I felt very comfortable. It's pretty cold in New York right now, but the Eco Silk, for some reason, if I just wear my tights or even my commando leggings underneath, then I feel really comfortable. Back to what Amy was talking about with the leggings, I really do recommend getting something that's like a little bit more substantial. That's why we're always talking about a commando legging, just because they do hold you in really nicely, and they're just, I don't know, they feel more substantial so that if you are wearing something that up top that is a little bit more elevated, it doesn't feel like you're doing like a high-low moment. It really feels really chic. Okay, so I'll have Amy come on and I'm gonna do a couple more.
Okay, Brain, can you come out real quick? Sorry. Can you introduce her? I need your shoes.
So Rain is coming out in a second. Amy needs my shoes. She's gonna talk about the Cashmere set.
Oh, alone. Hi guys. So I'm wearing the Cashmere lounge set, and it has like the tied ankles. It's super comfortable. It comes in this navy color, a like grayish color, and a cream. The cream is gorgeous. Yeah, and I'm wearing it in the smallest size. Of course, this is happening right
I
now.
timed that.
Sorry, our alarm is going off, but it's a test.
Here.
So yeah, and it's really cool because the ties, you can let them hang and drag, like I was doing earlier, or you can tuck them in, and now you kind of have the same balloon shape, like our signature set. Oh my god, wow. So yeah.
That's very rude. Anton was like, no.
Right, yeah.
We're not having a fire, guys. But I will say if we did, it would make for really good live TV. So I'm not down with that. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. We're back. So what we want to show you is, again, this way of mixing color in that is a lot of great neutrals and optimistic. Can you bring me my brown purse? It's on the hanger there. Oh, no, never mind. Will you run back to my office and bring me my brown purse? Derek, actually, sorry. We're like all over the place here. All right, so what we talked about is, right now everything I'm wearing is a no color color, right? So no color colors are the easiest. And what you'll find is the no color colors and the neutrals tend to be in your wardrobe the most in the summertime because if the requirement on those brights and the pastels is that ickiness or that gloss or that strong structure, it kind of is intuitive, right, to think that it's hard to wear on, especially like off-duty at the grocery store, right? Because you're certainly not going to be wearing those textures in the grocery store, and in a bright color, you're not wearing it in a big sweater either. So what a lot of people find is that in the summertime, they really revert to these no color colors and these neutrals. So you'll see the spring collection really leans into a lot of that, and then finding some interesting ways to have pops through, a piece of jewelry or something like that. I just want to show you though, the way that you can feel much more dynamic and rich when you are wearing all these no color colors and neutrals is by making sure that when you load them up, there's a strong color differentiation, but they're all still within the same genre, right? So this all looks really chic. I mean, I think so, if I say so myself. But in terms of one ton or none, it's just very clean. And we're going to really go through the one ton or nones today because that seems to drive a lot of questions afterwards on what's a one or what's a ton and what's a none. But I'm going to really classify this in the area of a none borderline one, because the white is strong enough of a pop. And when you've got, Dion's getting ready to come on in a minute, and you'll see she's got on one. And you define one by, if your eye can go zoom in on one singular area, then you're in a one. So Dione, you are in a one.
Definitely, yes. So I am in one color because, as I said before, the load-in for fall 20 was really a neutral for us. So I'm actually wearing your Featherweight Cashmere. This is the oversized sweater that has that really chic and also sporty drop shoulder detail raglan, and then it's a scoop neck, and then it's a little bit longer. For this look, I did have it just a little French tuck in the front, and then I have my strappy shoes on because I really want to make this look as like a nice layered alternate to suiting. And if you guys are wondering about what this blazer is, can't wait to tell you. So this is the Cashmere suiting. I showed you last week the Liam in both colors. This is the new shape. So you guys saw the wolf shape, and this is the, I would say it's an in and out, not a have to have, because I do see you wearing this year round, especially in the brown, and it also comes in that beautiful egg blue that you've seen before. A few details here. So you've got your double pockets on the side. They're both functional, which is great, with this beautiful scallop sleeve. So it really offers a new shape that actually really creates a nice hourglass shape on you. It's just really chic. It has the metal ring detail that we all know and love. But more importantly, this color is really great to throw on top of your neutrals, but also your crazy brights. So all of your bigs and pigs will work with this color. You can throw it on with like a bright orange, you can throw it on with a bright green, bright pink. It all works. And I'm actually going to throw it on with a couple of outfits after this as well. But here, just one color, it really looks very balanced. I still feel like myself because I've kind of purged my closet from a lot of color, especially in the spring. And I've been gravitating more towards happier colors in the fall. And having something like a green is always a great base color for me because depending on the color temperature, can really work from January to June if you wanted to, especially one of these nice lightweight sweaters like this. Also, for those of you who are interested in this in the neutrals like black or even the ivory that we have as an exclusive for the conservatory, I wear them under my blazers in the winter because they are so incredibly warm. I can't even tell you, because the other day actually we were getting ready for market because our wholesale team is in market right now, and I was wearing it under a blazer to like pick up around the showroom, and I was like, why am I sweating? And it was because I was wearing this as an underpinning because it's so perfect for me to walk around and still wear my blazer, still have that nice sleek silhouette, but also be very, very warm for those of you who still want to wear your suits. And it's great because if I were throwing on one of Amy's completed work earrings and these strappy sandals, this is also something that could take me to dinner as well.
So next Hannah is going to come on, and she's just going to answer a specific question for someone who had written asking for someone who is 5 feet tall to put on the leather skirt and talk about it. And the leather skirt is a sample, and that means it is in a size 4, which is, well, I would say 2 sizes too big for Hannah, and Hannah would say that's just right. So why don't you talk about the difference in the lengths?
Yeah, so this is size 4. So it's, as you see, this is almost my ankle. And I love how it is. So this good thing that even though size 4, this is really easy to adjust by your thigh. So it can fit on my waist, or I can just loosen up a little bit, even low waist. But still, I'm very small, but it doesn't touch floor. So I would love to wear this long. So one thing
that's a thing too.
Yeah,
there is a thing for longer leather skirt right now.
So when I want to be, go somewhere a little bit more official, whatever, I love wear our fundamental one, but I can be always very relaxed. So I want to show you quickly one thing. So I like wear with a t-shirt very relaxed. So what I would do, and also this was a little bit low for me because I'm like always touching at the bottom, so hard. So good thing that we have a back pocket here, which I can just turn to the front. And then this tie, I can just hem, because this is very good
But
leather.
don't run in it though, like I feel like it could come off if you're
No.
running really fast.
Well, I actually try, I walk so fast, but it's okay to stay there, because I just hold it by, So, and then I actually like just putting outside my t-shirt easily. So I like put my hand in the pocket, so like just wear, just relax.
So chic.
Yeah.
And I think too, like even when we talk about like wearing a brown bag with this, looks
I
very
like just
sharp
wear,
and modern.
like whatever.
But what's interesting though is you'll see that when she wears the brown bag with the tan and the black and the sandal and the leather, it looks really modern. But what I want to show you is I'm wearing a t-shirt and I'm wearing navy. And when I put on the brown bag with it, it takes on a little more of a preppy, a little more like suburban feel to it. And this isn't as comfortable for me. So I think you think about some things are not necessarily modern on their own. They become modern when you mix it here, but here it becomes a little, like I said, a little more for the verbs.
So before I leave, just one thing that I want to tell you. So this is size 4, but in general, I would wear size 0, 0 as well, which is going to be a little bit less fullness, which I would love to have more straighter look as well.
Yeah.
And then 3/4 inch, a little bit shorter, so it's going to show a little bit more my ankle, so which I would love to wear that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. It's fine.
So thinking then about like your bigs, the bright color and the ick and the gloss and all of that, what we have here is just off to the side here, like just some examples of what I mean by that. So like this is one of my favorite mills called Mantico in Italy. They're incredible. And like this, like when we say ick, it has feeling to it. It's got sponge, it's got hair, it's got some shine to it, some stretch. Like this is what makes it really modern and cool. So what happens is a lot of times, all of a sudden, whether it's Balenciaga, Celine, whoever, right? They'll show this blue on the runway. And then you've got like a whole team of merchandisers who are like, oh my God, it's about bright blue. And then you walk into a store and they're trying to push some, short blue silk, very average dress on you. And no one said it was about that. So when you think about these strong colors and these trends, really take a look, because in the modern world, if you're a creative pragmatist, if modernity is really key for you, then where you wear a bright color, it tends to be when there's weirdness, okay? No one said a little scoop neck pink tee is what everyone's looking for, but if this were in a raincoat or a big trench coat, we'd be totally down with that.
For sure. When we've done a pink t-shirt, like we had one that we put shoulder pads in it. It
Right.
had to have something a little weird.
Sculptural, like
Yes.
strong.
And especially with dresses. Like if you're gonna do like a fit and flare dress, I mean, we'll talk about that later, but
Possibly never.
possibly never. But like, if you're gonna do a fit and flare dress and it's in a bright color, you're gonna wonder why you don't feel good as versus to wearing a midi dress in that same color.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes a world of a difference. I know it's a hot take, but you know, that's what we're here for. We're not here to sugarcoat when it comes to what works and what doesn't, you know?
No, this stuff. Color's serious, you guys, and I mean, like, I mean that seriously, not really, but it really, it will change your whole outfit. Just even like wearing, you know, knowing to wear like the dark navy tee with a tweed jacket with the denim, like, it makes it feel so much fresher than just wearing a boring, you know, nothing tee or a bright color, God forbid, you know, like,
Exactly.
so it really, like, once you get this rhythm of these colors in your closet, it is, I mean, like, packing is going to be so much easier. Just getting up every day and getting dressed, going to the
Yeah.
grocery store, it is all going to like happen like that for
And
you.
you're going to be less seduced by sale shopping when it comes to that have to have piece. It's like all of a sudden you realize, oh, that pink t-shirt is absolutely not a have to have, so why do I need it in that color?
Well, and
You know?
even, okay, so like here, like, we're giving you options, right?
Yes.
It's not like, you know, we've said, like, the world is not about minimalist and maximalist. There is a whole world in between.
Mhm.
And so you're getting lots of options on color here. And what this does is that if you go here on a trend then, in a big sweater, you don't look like you've lost your mind. You've got this big sweater and it still works here.
It's going to make sense.
You know, you're gonna wear it with like a big thing here, so it works in your closet. So when you really understand what's that neutral base, what's that no color base, then all of these like real extreme pastels and brights that you bought in the right fabrications, they're gonna make so much sense in your closet. They really go into in and outs and had to haves.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
cost-
I didn't say that. Brights and pastels, they gotta be in and outs or had to haves.
Exactly. It's got to be cost per wear.
Yeah.
Because if you're going for an in and out, I always think about cost per wear when I'm thinking about a color.
Yeah.
Because if I can't already visualize what already is in my closet that works with it, it can't just work with one thing, because then that's not a smart purchase. It has to work with a few things. And once you have your wolves settled, whether that's in navy, black, gray, or brown, then you already have what you want to wear it with. Because yeah.
Because if you think about it this, guys, so many of you have written and you said, I want to get out of my black and white rut. And everything that we've shown you, these neutrals, they are functioning just like black and white, but you don't feel like, you don't feel like you're 200 years old. You don't feel like a stereotype of like, you know, I'm from Georgia, I don't want to be the Chico's woman, you know, like it has life to it.
Yes.
And you know, I'm weird about because I was a waiter for so long too, like the
Black,
song.
yeah, wearing black and white and
Yeah.
stuff too. It's true. That's why we're always trying to give you each season a base color that feels new.
Yeah.
That's why we've been gravitating towards brown, but it's always different shades. Like we had that chocolate brown tropical wool like 2 or 3 years ago, and now we have a little bit more of a gray base to work against those hues.
So I would say even like with all your browns on too, like again, we were talking about when does a brown bag modern? Not modern with the navy. Navy and brown together, this shade of brown. See,
Yes.
This shade of brown is modern together. This shade of brown is a little horsey, okay? And so horsey is horsey, and horsey's not modern unless you, like,
Yeah.
if that was a weird Celine, like amazing, an old Celine bag or something, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's a classic shape and a classic color.
Especially classic saddle. You really don't want to do it with
No.
navy. Yeah.
Like literally with the horse references. And then, so that's why I'm going black here, okay? And then I'm wearing the denim that has a modern shape to it because I'm wearing the tweed. This is the denim that is a forever denim for us, body-wise. This has a higher waist, and Dione is going to be showing you the lower waist in the denim.
Yes, I will be throwing that one on later. So to talk about the colors I'm wearing right now, this is that same Giselle stretch tee that I was wearing before. And then I'm wearing that same Cassius blazer that I had on with my last look. But now I wanted to talk about bigs, because this is a bright, it's not a bright red, but it's a bright red because it's a pant. And a lot of the time people are asking about like, how do I do a colorful pant? Especially like the knee-jerk reaction is going to be to wear like a red pair of denim. Let's not do that. think bigs and pigs. So this is in a gloss, so that's your G. It's also icky because it is in a faux patent leather, so it does have that, you just want to like touch it. It's very tactile and interesting. And then it's got a good shape. This is your carpenter shape, so it's not like a skinny red shiny pant either. It has to have all three of those elements if you're going to go for a red bottom. Now, as far as like a trouser is concerned, like we've never made a red tropical wool pant for a reason. It's been a while.
I have made one, and I regretted the shit out of it.
Was it
because
the lobster season?
I did a whole plot. It was the lobster season, and I'm like, listen, the model looked insane. She was wearing like these really aggressive pumps, and and in the picture, like she's walking like this. And I think at the end of the day, we weren't all walking like this. Like we actually were like walking to the subway, and we looked really average.
Yeah.
I felt really basic, and I felt like someone was going to ask me to show them an apartment with a view of like Fort Lauderdale. So it didn't feel good, and I did that too with another collection. I thought it was so beautiful. We used all these really pretty color silks in the summertime, and we did the pleated silk pant. And at the end of the day, like it just looked like a mom pant. I don't mean that in the cool like mom way. It was really bad. So
it never worked. That's why we haven't done it again.
So you're going to show silk done right.
I am going to show silk done right.
Yeah, in a color.
And I'm also going to show these pants again with something special.
Cool. All right, so while she's doing that, well, first of all, real quick, I'm wearing this blazer. We'll talk about it more later on in the season when it comes. But it's a really good, amazing tweed with these little blue specks in it, which means that, like with denim, it's absolutely chilling up. We're with the little gnome t-shirt. And if you don't know the story here on the gnomes, we did them because they made us happy. No one hates a garden gnome, although I'm sure there's like a horror film about them. But Tracy and her husband, who's a photographer, Jeremy, they ran around Brooklyn with these gnomes and placed them in really random places and photographed them, and we turned them into t-shirts. So they're cool, right? And it's a way to wear an interesting t-shirt and take something down a notch. And I think, a lot of you guys, sometimes when I post something, you're like, thank God you're showing me something that's off-duty. This is off-duty, okay? Like, you guys, when I was talking about don't be concerned about judgment or anything like that, off-duty means that you are dressed in a way that is really comfortable, functional, and you're using the clothing that you bought. And so when you release yourself from any fear of judgment, your off-duty wardrobe is going to expand exponentially. And off-duty is not like a Lucky Magazine thing telling you to wear sequins in the middle of the day at your banking job. It is really just about wearing the clothing that you love in a way that is appropriate and a way that a creative pragmatist will. So speaking of people who know how to wear their clothing, I've got these pictures of Tamu here. And we, on my own Insta, I'm going to go into a deeper dive with Tamu. But what is really interesting, when I really started looking at all the pictures of Tamu, and number one, bigs and pigs, she follows that rule completely. And she also follows the 1 ton or none, straight up. And of course, she, forever, back in the day, she wasn't thinking 1 ton or none, and she certainly wasn't thinking bigs and pigs. But for some of these people that have this really amazing style, what I've been trying to do is really put into words the things that we've been feeling and that we haven't been able to really articulate into the why, and then into a way that you can remember it so that you can actually use it when you're getting dressed every morning. And this is baby steps, guys, because a lot of this gets very deep and nuanced, and it should get deep and nuanced, because if it doesn't, then it might as well just be a show called Project Runway and everyone like judging people randomly, and that's not what we're about. I love really good style, and if you want to learn how to have really good style, because I do believe it can be learned, then you have to get deep, and you have to get nuanced, and you have to get specific, and you probably have to hate on a puffer vest every now and then, because if you don't take a stand, you stand for nothing. So what is most interesting about Tamu here is a lot of you guys, when I started talking about color, I had a lot of interior decorators write me and say, well, what are the rules in fashion? Because the rules in interiors are like, you never mix a cold with a warm, or, there were very specific rules. And I was trying to unpack if there were specific rules with color as well. And what I realized is that there's not. And you'll see this from Tamu, because the beauty of it is when Tamu knows her own personal style so well, then I know what year this came out in, this when she was wearing these fluorescents. And I know what year this came out in, because Tamu was able to embrace new trends and embrace moments where, if Muccia or if Phoebe Philo said that warms and colds go together, I mean, we're wearing warms and colds together, but you want to do it in a way that always feels like yourself. So I really don't have rules for you on whether the neutrals or the pastels or the brights can go together or they can't, because if I fall in love with something later on, I'm going to tell you that I love it, and you're going to have now a video documentation that I told you that you shouldn't love it. So really, being a creative pragmatist is about knowing yourself so well that you can break many, many rules, but as long as you have that common through line, one ton or none, bigs or pigs, you're going to always feel like yourself. Which Dione is coming out in a pink sweater, and she absolutely looks like herself as a result.
Exactly. And also, I will say, I think it's safe to say pastels with black are probably something we don't do very often.
Well, I do hate that.
Pastels with black. At any time I've ever been like doing style out with Amy and I've put pastels with black, she's been like, no. So that is one rule that you can pretty much rely on from us, but we might change our minds. Like I used to have a rule, I was never allowed to style electric blue with black, and I was totally fine with it. And then we have a little bit of that in fall. So it really just, it depends. So yes, I'm wearing a pink cardigan. Does this still look like me? Yes, and here's why. Okay, I'm wearing pastel, I'm wearing a cardigan. It's all very sweet compared to what I normally wear, which is usually just like a big blazer. But here it works because I'm wearing my shiny faux patent pants in a carpenter style. I'm not wearing anything skinny on bottom when I'm wearing something so fitted on top. For me, I probably wear this also with like a slouchy chocolate brown tropical wool pant like the ones that are on our online outlet and a different shoe. But I wanted to address shine on shine because we've talked about shine on shine before, and we've said don't do shine on shine, but there's a loophole. So I'm wearing these cognac shoes just to show that you can do shine on shine as long as the shine on the foot is not lighter than the pants. That is the big takeaway. Like, because people have been asking me, they're like, I got the Lars, I want to wear the Lars back to these cargo pants or whatever. If the shoe is darker than the pant, it works. That's why I'm wearing this cognac color, because when I did try this outfit on with the tan Lars, it felt too sweet and not like me, and it also was the shine was really aggressive in a lighter color. It's kind of the same with if I were going to wear this outfit with a white boot. I wouldn't. And the reason is because I don't want to walk around looking like a candy heart, like a walking candy heart, because that's what I would look like.
No, and you would have like a line of drummers behind you, like thinking you were
I
a
can't
band leader.
I can't do it, you know. And I'm just like, look, like I'm going to the soda fountain, you know.
No, I know. You'd be
so,
like,
like those have existed for like 50 years. They have not. But for me, when I'm going to do a quirky color combination like that, that's where I lean into my browns and I do something weird. Hence why I'm wearing a sheer black tight with this. Because if I were wearing like my feet were bare and I was wearing this, then it's getting a little too, you can go full Cameron Diaz, but keep it into neutrals. But if you're doing something about Mary Cameron Diaz and I'm doing like a ballet flat with this, I look like I'm trying to like pull from a different decade, and it's all kind of not working. You know what I mean?
I think so, bringing things to the here and now is what's really key.
Exactly. That's why I'm doing my weird square toe pump right now, and it's shiny and it works. Because if I were wearing just like a basic like kitten heel or block heeled like court shoe, I'd feel like, I don't know, I feel like the girl who's going to give her teacher an apple or something, you know? It's just, it just doesn't really work for my personal sensibilities. But I also just want to show something really fast.
See, and this is what you guys, I'm just going to, from a design perspective, Hannah and Tracy and I, when we're designing, it is so important that the past works with the present and works with the future. Always. Like, I promise you, the three of us are people who, we just don't want to take you on a wild ride because, listen, I want really good clothing. I'm highly motivated to have started Tibi and own Tibi because I love clothing, okay? So I'm not going to steer you wrong on this. And really, again, past, present, future, and then way past because you're mixing it with the vintage, like it all works.
Exactly. So, like, this makes it even more me throwing an oversized blazer on it because, like, let's be real. That's kind of like, you know, the cherry on top of a nice outfit is always a Liam, in my opinion. So, having this on top, I can even have it closed up, and then it works here. But if I wanted to have my pink sweater, it still works, and it still looks like me. This is about wearing colors in a smart sensibility. All right, I'll be back. It's time.
All right, so again, when people talked about, thank goodness you are showing some off-duty looks. Your closet is seamless, right? PDW, play, dinner, work. The holy grail is when something scores really high on all of those attributes. So I'm going out to dinner here with my friend Dina tonight, and I've got my little completed works. But you know what? I'm actually not wearing this out to dinner tonight because it's fucking snow on the ground and I would be an idiot. So I'm not going to lie to you about that. But if I was going out to dinner and if it was April, this is totally what I would be wearing. Okay? So you've got it on the black and white, and this is my one. Okay? So 1 ton or none. This blue is counting as my one. So what I want to show you here with Tamu is, so hard to do things backwards here. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is one, okay? All of these looks that Tamu is wearing, they're all ones. And so one doesn't mean that it has to be the hardcore neutrals, right? So one can mean that you are really just pulling from the color wheel. So even though these are different shades of green and some, it, gets quite light, it still counts as one. And then how cute is she in this denim, right? So, Tamu, I miss you. Oh my God, you guys, she's like the best person in the world. So this is her wearing one. And like I said, she was able then to navigate so many different fashion trends because it always looked like her. So this is her in one. This was her in this great Tibi dress we did a while ago, and it was very icky and shiny and perfect. I loved it. And then we have Tamu in versions of one. And so what you'll see here is one is counting as the pop of the white, okay? So I said that when your eye is drawn immediately to one area, so here my eye goes right to the green shoes, the blue bag, she's using her bag here as her one. So when your eye distinctly goes to one area, that's gonna count as one. So before you guys DM me all your outfits and ask me is it 1 ton or none, kind of go through those questions, okay? And then you have Tamu when she's wearing ton, okay? So this means that she's got on 2, 3 looks in a picture. What you can't really see here is she's wearing these emerald green earrings with this. She's got on the red, she's got on the black, she's got on the white, and it totally works. And this is where I said too, this is her current day, right? This is the giveaway, the Balenciaga shoe, the Bottega Veneta shoes. When you know your style so well, you can navigate in and out and love all of these colors and not have someone think that you've gone off the rails or feel yourself that you've gone off the rails. That is really, really critical. And I know for me, when I talk to even young designers, that was always a really tough thing working with stores because they didn't get it that I could be all about this black and white, but then love something with a bright color. So I love figuring this out so I can explain it to the store partners that we work with. Of course, I always have Sherry McMullen and those people who are like, I get it. But it was the bigger merchandisers who had a really hard time struggling with this. And so I know why, and that's how they're taught to think, and that's how the magazines have always presented things as well. You are either a minimalist or maximalist, you are either girly or you are sexy, you are either edgy or you are feminine. And the thing about being a creative pragmatist is we are complicated people, we are complicated individuals. I would argue that a maximalist and a minimalist is complicated as well, but our complication, like I want to show that in my clothing, I do, and I'm complicated, but I'm not crazy. So when you learn how to nail color in your wardrobe, that complicated but not crazy is going to really come through, like the way Dione looks right now.
Don't you? Okay. This outfit does not make you miss street style, right?
It does make me miss street style so much.
Yeah.
I want to go to Paris so bad.
I know. I'm putting this in the back pocket for Paris because, like, I'm wearing the one
Oh.
colored bubble dress actually with my beautiful new Liam blazer again. So it takes color really well, and that's really the point I'm trying to drive home. Also, I'm wearing the recut of the Red Lars blue, which is in stock. So we really are endorsing pink and red. Also, if you've seen some of the recent couture shows like Valentino, there's always like a beautiful moment with these interesting ways to wear pink. Recently, it was this beautiful pop of pink with the brown. Like, if you haven't seen the show, it is a masterclass in color. It's amazing. So I'm actually wearing my one shoulder pink taffeta dress, but I'm wearing it at more like a skirt with my Liam blazer. I mean, this is definitely for future me who's vaccinated, but something that I could also wear if I were going to go to like a micro wedding upstate or something, or even a Zoom wedding from my couch. This is how I would wear pink and make it look like me. I'm not going to be the girl wearing a strappy sandal and like a metallic with this pink dress on and like a pashmina or shawl. Like, I'm going to wear like a nice substantial blazer to wear with this, and just so I can have that nice thing that keeps me really comfortable and also feeling very interesting. Because a lot of this, to most people, when they would be putting this together, they would think, oh, it's going to be chaotic. But for some reason it works because I'm wearing a nice red boot. I'm wearing a nice blazer that really grounds it and has neutral colors in it that makes it really work so nicely. A couple of things about this dress too, because a lot of people have been asking about how to tie this. You can start from the front or the back. I started from the front this way, but you can also start tying this dress from the back as well if you want a little bit cleaner of a front. But I personally like to keep wrapping it around. But if you want the sash to have extra drama, you can just do it the once like that and just have it hanging down too. Also, the same look also looks great with the patches together.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, brown is the ultimate neutral. If you don't have any brown in your closet, after watching all of these lives, get some brown. Especially in this grayish brown. It still works. This is also something I totally wear in Paris for like a street style moment or to an event.
Well, yeah, because there's those moments where, especially when you're on vacation, right, and you get there, and whether you're in Spain or, you know, wherever you go, Miami, wherever, the reality is, especially if you come from Milan or London or Paris, you want something a little joyous in your bag, right? Like, you're going to an event, if you're going to a wedding, you want something that is that makes you happy color-wise. But when you put on a color and it's in the wrong fabric and in the wrong style, and you feel so unlike yourself, then you default all of a sudden to like the black dress at the wedding or wherever.
Yes.
And this really lets you be very much yourself. Like, Dione, you look like your very best self, who happens to be wearing color, be like,
Yeah.
I could ask you for anything right now because you look like this really happy person. So
I should wear more color.
yeah. So this is how you do it, guys.
Exactly. And, you know, for those of you who are, you know, thinking about future, like way far in the future events, really think about what kind of blazer you want, especially if it's cold and you want to wear an evening gown. I really do like having a nice Liam and a tropical wool or a nice substantial material to throw on my shoulders. So I still look like me. And I highly recommend that because if I want to feel like a fish out of water, I'm going to be wearing like a full evening get up. It just doesn't feel like me. I always want to be the one to like throw on a tall boot or a sneaker or something to make it work. But like,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why for sure, like the woofs in my closet, half of them are blazers because they're like the instant, like, I feel like myself.
exactly. Also, blazer is a 4, dresses a smaller 4.
4.
Yeah.
4. Okay. Hey, do you mind putting on the green dress? Because we're a little
Sure.
tight on
Yeah.
time. That'd be great. Okay, I don't know why I'm holding this. I don't have anything more to show you guys here. But so now I'm showing you, I had this on earlier with the black blazer. This is purely off duty, right? And it's a really fun way to wear color and be clash. And this is a little bit of a ton moment here. I'm working like all the different colors, but you can see that something like this pant, this is the crispy nylon jogger in a size small, and this really like becomes the ultimate PDW moment to ground all of these bright colors. So in these bright colors, this is in a menswear tropical wool, but again, like the oversized element of it keeps it straight up in a Creative Pragmatist wardrobe. I mean, I have to be honest, if this thing had, you know, a fitted armhole and it was all like sleek and blech, like there's no way, like black, yes, I would do that, but I would never do it in a colored blazer. It gets really pedestrian. And so, you know, when we talk about shape, and in shape being sculpture and extremities, things that make you use your hands, talk like Italians, when we talk about that, really think about that. If you're building boards of people that you really admire the way that they dress, when you look at their boards, it is never, like I always laugh when a magazine will show Tamu in this great outfit and they're like, if you like this, you'll love this. And I'm like, why? Because it's brown bullshit. You're not gonna love that. Like, that thing is all fitted and that. Like, it's not about, like, just because Tamu wore a blazer, you're gonna love this blazer in the same color. You really need to look at what is the fabrication, what is the fit, is it modern, is it really saying something? Because if not, you're gonna buy a lot of clothing and be really angry when it comes in. I will let you guys know, in a couple weeks we'll do a whole show that really dives into some of the styling hacks, because one of the fun things that you can do around these liams that I love is I take safety pins, and don't be afraid of poking your clothes, okay? So a lot of times I'll take a safety pin and I will just pin it just like right there, so that when I turn it inside out again, the sleeve has got a little bit of a ruching up. I hate it when sleeves are like designed out with all that ruching and everything and like meant to be that way. Don't, like, just when you want it that way, you can pin it and have it that way, and when you don't, you don't, and it's just a great jacket. And while I have this inside out, can we just talk about, you guys, listen, I'm so obsessed with quality. Like, these are your extra buttons. This is how this looks inside out. Everything is finished. Your inside pockets really demand a lot from your clothing. I mean, vintage is vintage, and if you can find a great vintage jacket, buy it. But if you're finding a great jacket in a medium price and you think it's great and you turn it inside out and it's got like little strings hanging all over the place, it's not even lined, and smell your fabrics if they smell like gas. I know that's a weird thing, but that's a sign of cheap fabric. It smells like petroleum. It's gross. Anyways, so green is coming. This is so good.
So I'm wearing all over shades of green, all very different, even different color temperatures, and it still works. So first I'm wearing that same featherweight sweater that I was wearing before around my neck. That's one layer. I like to do that for extra warmth. And then I'm wearing the recycled Techie Twill trench coat, which is a really nice weight for transitional weather. And it's also in this nice dark green, so it really takes color well. This dark green actually works nicely back to that pink dress I was just wearing, and basically everything that I've worn today. I don't know about the red pants just because I'm weird about complementary colors, but since it's an off color, it might even work as well. It has a removable tab. I don't have it on, but it has a removable cape for extra drama if you'd like. But I'm wearing it on top.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Even though I said like there's no like hard and fast rule, like you should always wear this color with this color, what I will tell you is when you wear that kind of non-color color and those brown undertones, it calms down the brights and the pastels.
For sure.
Like, that's a fact. No matter what the trends are, it will calm this color down in a really nice way, you know?
And this is another bright color. I will say green feels a lot more like me because I do wear a lot of green as like a nice pop of color in my wardrobe. This is the Eco Silk, which means that it is an eco-friendly silk that's sourced in Asia. It's really beautiful. It's got this nice...
This is literally 1/100th of the water in the
Yes,
process.
no water waste too. You're welcome. And you also have this beautiful neckline detail that you'll actually see on some of our tops in the spring collection. and on the sleeves
So
too.
that filler in the neckline is what is giving it that ick moment and that extreme moment. And so it really takes it away from being just that average silk dress.
Also, it has pockets. You're welcome again, because we love to have a pocket in a dress. Because even if you rolled into a wedding at the end of the year or something and wore this in the winter with a tall boot like I'm wearing now, or wear it transitionally now with a duster coat like this, or even that blazer, which also works on top of this. I'm going to throw the blazer on again because it works.
Yeah, I mean, just, you guys, your blazers, you pull them out, they go to the grocery store, they go to weddings, they go to the office, they go everywhere with you. There's no such thing as an off-duty look with Tibi because it's all like merging in and out every day.
It is still a woof. Like, you know, sometimes a plaid or a print can be a woof.
Would you do a black legging and a black flat with the green? Would you go
Totally.
there?
I would
Yeah.
go there for sure. I think it would dress it down a little bit because I could be walking around in Brooklyn and not look like I'm like trying to get photographed or something, you know? So,
and one other question I had from someone, say like a viewer or whatever, but you know, DM, but they asked if you're going with ton, what does your hair need to be? And at one point we had talked about like calming down the hair, and they were like, well, you know, I've got like really big wild hair naturally, and so it made me think that when you go with ton or with these really eased out looks, it's not about getting this Gwyneth Paltrow dude. It's
No.
about looking natural, okay? So if natural is wavy and wild, that's fabulous. I think what we're saying is it's not the time to like get the Southern Comfort blowout
yes.
from the, you know, hair salon going on.
Yes,
Keep
exactly.
it chill.
Yeah, like if you're getting a barrel curl with your colors, that's what we're talking about. If you naturally
Because if
have
I
a
had
nice,
wild curls, that would not be natural, therefore
yeah.
I would look forced. But if, you know.
If I had my hair, if I like air dried my hair, then it would be chill and natural. It's
Yeah.
the same with like, yeah, whatever your natural hair texture is, if it's curly, coily, whatever, that it's not a hairdo. That's your natural hair.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like a really elaborate do, like just think like, I don't know, I would think beauty queen hair. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting like
Yes.
an aggressive blowout, that's
Yeah,
what
it's
we're
like
talking
I am
about.
on The Bachelorette, I am waiting for my rose,
Exactly.
and that's the hair.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Because we're not
It's
saying
just a
like you
worse
need to
fashion.
have your hair slicked back every
One
time
of
you
our
wear color.
models, by the way, is on Bachelorette, and she's
Really?
Yeah, she's looking chic.
I did not. Who?
No,
We didn't
model
talk
from
about this
Brooklyn.
later.
I know.
Wait, what?
And I know, thank you to, you know, all this global TV now that we have poisoned the world with The Bachelorette. And if you're in South Korea, you probably know exactly what we're talking about. And I apologize for that. So guys, that is going to wrap up our session. On my Instagram, I will post all those pictures of Tamu so you can get a look at them up close in all of her loveliness. And I hope that you learned something. I certainly learned something as we were unpacking this, and I think it's going to help you guys. I promise. Okay, just follow the rules that aren't really rules. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Wait, what do? I always mess this up. Sorry. I'm always